Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Raw review with us, the British Fist.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much the best part of this review over and done with. I'm Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me is NJ.
What's up?
Subscribe above, like this video, and comment any thoughts you have on this Raw down in the comment section.
And please make sure you contact us in the link to the push box below.
Yeah, any good and bad comments, please give us. Raw. Why is it so hard to watch the WWE lately, NJ? It's frustrating me to the point where I've lost my hair. I really have. The Money in the Bank was hung over the ring on this Raw. And we opened up with John Cena talking baloney. Out comes Daniel Bryan, out comes CM Punk, out comes Chris Jericho, out comes Kane, out comes Big Show. The Money in the Bank guys brawl. Big Show ends on top. It's same old shit. It's WWE opener, generic version number 1. The only thing good about the opening segment was Jericho's catchphrases. That was it. Done.
And the thing about this is that they obviously wanted to build up what was happening tonight as well as Money in the Bank. And having all the main guys that obviously people are paying to see, it was okay, but obviously when each one of them came out, you knew what each one was going to say. And pretty much, for some reason, they had the main eventers inside the ring. And so you added Kane and Big Show, so it became a bit too many wrestlers all in one segment. So it wasn't the greatest opener, but it did set up what we're getting later, which we'll get to next.
Just same old shit. It's the generic opener, again, same old shit. Just who gives a shit? Primetime players Otunga and Cody Rhodes versus R-Truth, Kofi Kingston and Santino and Christian was next. As soon as we saw the 8-man tag announcement, we knew this would be a clusterfuck segment. And in clusterfuck segment version 1 of WWE Raw, we have the primetime players walking out. We have Rhodes walking out on Otunga. Out comes Brodus Clay out of nowhere to own Otunga. Santino gets the victory. How much do they want to do in this segment, which also includes the return of R-Truth and the tag team champions to TV?
The thing about this is that obviously it's pretty sad because what we saw happen to Cody Rhodes and Otunga on SmackDown, they followed up with this match. The thing about this match is that I think they're trying to combine so much in one match, and it kind of took the attention away from the match we were given. But in result of this match, we're probably going to get, obviously, a tag team match, probably coming up the pay-per-view. Santino winning I didn't really agree with, because obviously with R-Truth coming back, maybe they should have gave him the win, the faces were going to win. And now, obviously, we're getting a continuation of a feud that's gone from Big Show and Brodus Clay back down to Otunga Brodus Clay. And is it a feud that we really care about? Personally, it's not going to do any favours for either one of them, but at least it's a feud for Brodus Clay. So we're getting 2 possible matches from this at Money in the Bank. So in a way, it was a mess, but it's given us something to lead us on to.
It was one massive clusterfuck. Why couldn't you have a separate segment hyping up a tag team feud? And why was Santino and Christian and Otunga Rhodes even needed in this segment? I mean, it baffles me. I think to myself, God damn, have WWE hired Vince Russo again? Because this segment had Vince Russo written all over it. There's probably going to be now a tag title match at Money in the Bank where I think the primetime players should fucking win those belts. And Cody Rhodes to win Money in the Bank, do you think that that'll happen on the SmackDown, whatever championship Money in the Bank? Is he by far the best candidate unless we're going to get Wade Barrett returning or something?
Well, at the minute, obviously we are going to probably get new tag team champions just because they're going to move the tag team onto another tag team that will probably hold the belt for a long time just because the tag division is still not fixed. And with Cody Rhodes, at the moment in time, of all the ones we've got in the SmackDown Money in the Bank, he still looks like one that's going to be entered and have a big chance of winning unless Rey Mysterio or Wade Barrett return on SmackDown, which is a live show, by the way, or next week.
The SmackDown Money in the Bank sucks. You have 4 fucking ex-champions in the Raw Money in the Bank and a bunch of fucking nobodies in the SmackDown Money in the Bank. Why can't you just combine the two? Combine veterans and combine young talent? I don't get it. It's so illogical. Del Rio is the #1 contender to face Sheamus in Money in the Bank. At least that's the 4th match we've got. We've got 4 big matches, the 2 Money in the Bank matches and the 2 title matches. Those are the 4 matches we were kind of expected to get right now. It's just seeing what other matches they're going to put on the card now. What other matches do we have? Really none.
With this, they set this up in a bit of a quick way. The board of directors, which is WWE's main source of power at the moment, because obviously the GMs are failing at the minute. Yes, we're getting old GMs, but nothing permanent. But Del Rio getting his contendership, obviously it was going to happen, even though he was already the contender in the first place. But we're getting a match where Sheamus is obviously going to end up winning at the pay-per-view, so this match is just going to be another filler match.
And in Teddy's surprise match, we have Alberto Del Rio versus what we thought was probably going to be Rey Mysterio, but it turned out to be Sin Cara. Now, this match didn't really even happen, did it? We just had Del Rio beat down on Sin Cara. But we weren't the only ones expecting Rey Mysterio in this one, were we?
Well, at the beginning, there was debate on who it could be like. We knew that Theodore belongs for somebody like Carly, but I'm glad that he won in it. It'd be a boring match. So, Sin Cara, the quick way of having him on TV and writing him off quick like that, it was a bit sad, but the opponent could have been Rey Mysterio, even though I predicted maybe he could have been involved in the main event, because obviously he's an ex-WWE champion and could quite simply be added into the Raw Money in the Bank. But he didn't appear tonight.
Yeah, at least Del Rio looks strong against Sin Cara. I mean, it's amazing how far Sin Cara has gone from Triple H's golden boy, really, to like being pushed and it's legit reactions. And now he's just cannon fodder for Alberto Del Rio. It's amazing how far down that guy's gone. And he will never regain any of that momentum he once had. He gets zero reaction now. He botches too much. I mean, his future's pretty much done in WWE, Sin Cara. It's a shame.
Because sadly, eventually, I'll probably still see the WWE maybe trying to have the Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara match, which at the moment in time is not looking like a possibility of a big match, but Ray's got to do something when he returns, even if his career at the moment is looking a bit weak at the moment itself.
As we all know, tomorrow night we're going to have an American Bash-themed SmackDown. What was once a great WCW prestigious pay-per-view is now nothing more than a live SmackDown thing. We're going to have a 20-man battle royal where we're going to have all the stars involved. Yeah, that's going to be great, isn't it?
Because with it being a live SmackDown, I do like the fact that it's live, there's no spoilers, and it's something that, or anything could happen, so fingers crossed we get a return, just something more added on to it. But with this Battle Royal, yes, their Battle Royals in the past have been quick and nothing important, apart from the final few wrestlers have some importance, but it's not really got me hyped up for this show, not really.
And are they really going to draw in any ratings with the amount of advertising they've done for it? Probably not, but hell, we'll move on. What's the point? It's taking a prestigious pay-per-view and piercing it down the train. WWE, typical shit. Lesnar answers Triple H's call. Well, it wasn't really Lesnar, it was Paul Heyman, basically saying that Lesnar will give his answer on the 1000th episode of Raw. So it looks like they're probably going to limit his dates a little bit more until the 1000th episode.
I do look forward to Heyman and Mike, but I would say this, the fact that it was on the Titantron and it was him just announcing stuff that's going to happen in the 1000th episode, I didn't feel it was his best work, but he has gave us a segment or a moment where we know we're going to actually get Lesnar appearing back in the WWE. Obviously, they're trying to hype up this 1000th episode of Raw as best they can by adding Lesnar and his answer to Triple H.
Yeah, and they also had some new moments because the last few weeks have just seen nothing but old moments. And I hate Austin! I hate Austin! That was a great moment. In our main event of the evening, Sheamus and AJ versus Ziggler and Vicky. Sheamus versus Ziggler, basically again. You could tell Teddy Long was in full force tonight as the GM because we had plenty of tag team action tonight. Player.
Yeah, with Teddy Long, we knew what was going to come eventually during this show, the tag team matches, which we pretty much got throughout the night. This one, I found AJ and Sheamus pairing it was a bit random, different shows, not had much connection with each other, but it made sense to obviously combine two follow-ons from what we've seen on SmackDown and Raw between the feud between Sheamus and Ziggler and the fight between AJ and Vicky, so it made sense.
I mean, we see same old shit once again. Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler. AJ pins Vicky, and then the segment really is more about AJ than the World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus, and you're kind of sitting there thinking, well, Sheamus is celebrating to AJ Lee's music. Is there something wrong with that out there? I'm just saying.
It's a bit sad because at the moment AJ doesn't really have a pay-per-view match, and it's the one that Sheamus does, and the focus on his last few shows, which is something I'm going to get to by the end of this show, it's been all focused on AJ instead of what's coming up and what should be more important than AJ. So we'll get to that a bit later.
And that bears a very important question. Is AJ Lee now more important than the WWE title itself in this feud? I think she is. The way they've been packaging her and everything, it's almost like the WWE title is like just thrown out the window and it's all about AJ. No, I love AJ, but goddamn, it's not really doing well for the title, is it?
Not much at all.
No. We'll move on to the next segment then. In our sort of, return of the legends segment, we had Heath Slater in the middle of the ring, and none other than Doink the Clown answers the call of let's see if we can squash the jobber this week. Very little reaction for Doink the Clown. Slater pins him.
That's the thing, because when Slater had his mic time, obviously as soon as he said the word clown, I knew who it was going to be. Yes, there was reports saying DDP, which we'll get to in a minute, but Doink the Clown, I was saying straight away, if Slater wins, I wouldn't care one single bit.
No.
Doink the Clown, I do not like, never liked. This was just awful, and I'm glad that Slater managed to beat him, but the best was yet to come.
Yeah, we had the return of DDP! DDP, motherfucker! Yeah, this was probably, for me, the most exciting segment of the night. That's not a bad thing, it's a good thing! Because that was such a great gimmick you come up with, WWE, when you had the diamond cutter in the middle of the ring for the win. Definitely better than the RKO, would you not agree?
That's very true, and with this quick segment, we knew what was coming. Obviously, they picked Doink the Clown to wrestle and not DDP, so maybe that's saying something about how DDP is now in his time, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing him wrestling. It would have been a quick match again, but once again, he just did what was expected. The diamond cutter put Slater down, and the crowd liked it, and it was a good way to finish the segment off, better than past Slater segments.
Is it sad that Heath Slater was one of two heels, the other one being a heel versus heel match? He was the only heel to win in a match which was also involved a face. Is that not sad? Really, if you think about it logically, is that not a little bit sad?
No.
In the next, it fucking well was. No Holds Barred is being digitally remastered. Brother! It's weird seeing Hogan on WWE TV, isn't it?
Yeah, it was funny trying to see Hogan act in that movie, and if you look at the fact that how he changed over the years from that video to how he is now, yeah, again, trying to make it important, and obviously it follows on from this quickly random match they made, thanks to Theodore Long from the Open, who tweeted this, by the way, that they're going to make this no holds barred match between the Big Show and the Big Red Monster Kane.
May I ask, what was the point of this match, and what was the point of it being a no DQ match? Was there really any point in this? Really? I mean, I'm just saying.
Sadly, for some reason, the focus again after the Big Show heel turn was still on Big Show, and yes, they did some battle things outside, using the announce table, blah, 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 but it came down to the chair being used, but Big Show getting the win, chokeslam from onto Kane to the chair. And I was thinking, why did Big Show have to win? Yes, he was trying to push him, trying to make him important again, but I obviously had my money on Kane.
Also, I just want to say, from a wrestling point of view here, is it really necessary when you have Kane and Big Show, who are two bigger guys who are going to be in your Money in the Bank ladder match, is it really wise to put them in a pointless no DQ match where they could possibly get injured? Just going to put that out there. We'll move on to the next segment then, as long as you're finished talking about that.
I was going to say, for Noah's Barred match, with a big match like that, because obviously when the WWE book Noah's Barred matches, it's meant to be something big, important, badass, and this match weren't the best Noah's Barred match, and it was a random match, by the way, nothing building up to this moment. So anyway, I think they overly used this match in the wrong direction.
It only got 3.5 minutes.
Sadly.
I mean, what more do I say about this? Let's just move the fuck on. Tyson Kidd versus Tensai. Where do we start with this one? Tyson Kidd, a guy who's been jobbing on TV, has been on NXT, not on WWE TV. He beats Tensai in about 10 seconds, and it really seems like they're fast-tracking Tyson Kidd a little bit here, and I don't mind that too much. It's just the fact that Michael Cole, whether he was fed this or not, because this man just hates the fucking Hearts, he said, and I quote, "I think that's 2 years since Tyson Kidd has won a match on Raw, and he's supposed to be in Money in the Bank, contesting the #1 contendership of your World Heavyweight Championship. Way to bury someone from the fucking Heart Dungeon. I'm just saying, that's bullshit."
And I look at this match, and the thing is that Tensai managed to beat John Cena, but when it comes to someone like Tyson Kidd, he just gets hit into the corner, rolled up for the 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, there's a small part of me that thinking the WWE added Tensai to this SmackDown Money in the Bank to try and keep him looking important and in the main event scene. But the fact he's just lost to Tyson Kidd in a quick match like this, I think it's just to fill up the card a bit, fill up the match a bit more. But the thing is, they thought, right, we've just done something horrible, how are we going to fix this? And he just destroyed, once again, his man
Sakamoto, yeah. Sakamoto being a regular on FCW TV. You know, at least I'll say this, Tensai finally got some heat. After what? Since debuting after WrestleMania, he finally got some heat. And he did beat up Tyson Kidd backstage. But I think, to be honest, this segment just showed me how far the fucking Tensai character has flopped. They tried to change the character. It's just one of those characters, in my opinion, that just hasn't worked. And WWE just have to give up on it because it's not going to work. And as much as they try and force it down our throats, it is not going to work. And it has failed. It's a failed experiment.
Because sadly with Tensai, the fact that they had that big gap where he weren't used, it was okay because he weren't needed. But the fact they're trying to bring him back so they have a dominant guy in the Money in the Bank match, I don't think it's the best. They could have had it right back, it could have still worked. And I think it's a bit of a shame that they're trying to book Tensai to be this, try and make a likeable character to still be involved in the main event scene.
Going on to our main event of the evening, it kind of seems like WWE already are kind of teasing Punk versus Cena with that whole backstage where Punk is saying, you know, I've developed some leadership skills, let me call the shots out there. It kind of seems like they're laying the foundations for the Punk-Cena feud, which is kind of protracting that Cena's going to win Money in the Bank, pretty much.
Because also after the opener, when Cena announced straight away that he's going to win it, I promise 2 things, blah, blah, blah. The focus of the opener and the main event did make us feel that Cena was going to win. But before that, there was this funny segment between Bryan and Jericho, dissing to those jackets, and they had this little comedy shout off with each other. I just thought the way they brought this up, 2 heels, both having their own say, it got their part of the match. Because I think because obviously a trivial fact, by the way, is that Jericho was Bryan's first opponent, and I thought these would make a good tag team, a good pair up going to the main event, but obviously the concentration is more on Cena and Punk.
Cena and Punk versus Bryan and Jericho was our main event of the evening. What I liked about this match was the fact that the heels beat down on John Cena and allowed CM Punk, who is our WWE champion, to get the hot tag, and that led to Jericho and Cena fighting backstage, leaving Daniel Bryan and CM Punk in the final segment of Raw in what will probably be a tank of a rating segment. I'm just saying. And AJ, earlier on when she confronted Eve, promised that she would try and grab the attention. And she tried. She came out and tries to get the attention, but no one's paying any attention to her, apart from me, because I'm a bit of an AJ mark. She gets a table. She goes to put herself through it. She kisses CM Punk. And then AJ Lee puts our #1 contender and WWE champion through a fucking table. Are you kidding me? AJ Lee putting the WWE champion and #1 contender through a table.
These last few shows, AJ has been dominating many segments, and it comes to this show, obviously getting towards the pay-per-view, so they've really got to hype up the WWE Championship. But AJ, once again, was in numerous segments throughout the night, and I think overly done. Yes, it was showing her relationship failing with each member of the match, but I just thought it was overly used. I didn't enjoy it. She could have just had 1 or 2 segments, and it was still accomplished the same thing. But now it comes to the main event, and again, just like another Punk and Bryan match, which it basically was by the end, another involvement happens, and it screws up another match, and the whole night that was meant to be about Bryan and Punk, and probably Cena and Jericho, turned to be about AJ, and I'm just thinking that you're meant to be hyping up this probably last match between Bryan and Punk, unless they somehow move on to SummerSlam, but AJ has dominated that feud going to final match.
All I can say is CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in the main event overrun I just will be really interested to see the ratings for this one, because then I can sure as hell fucking prove that neither of them two are as big a draws as the IWC thinks. If you want proof, in my opinion, that Punk and Bryan aren't as big a draws as you guys tried to make them out to be, well, put it this way. WWE would rather end the show with a diva, AJ Lee, than your WWE champion and number one contender, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. I rest my case.
And people, that's been another Raw review from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Tune in for our SmackDown review tomorrow night and our Q&A on Friday. And until next time, YouTubers, share your comments in the comment section below. And goodbye.